I'm your host, Leah Masten, for Top Industry Professionals, TIP International Radio Podcast, where we are showcasing prestigious top professionals from all industries all over the globe to share their experience and stories of success. My amazing co-host is here with me, and we are so honored to have her as a host of the show. Originally from Namibia, she was crowned Miss Universe in 1992. Please welcome Michelle McLean.
Hello, Leah. Hello, listeners. It's so good to be here. Always inspirational. And today is like no other day because we have somebody very, very special from Michigan. He's a famous trial attorney who's become a household name and has represented numerous high-profile clients, such as John DeLorraine, Dr. Jack Kevorkian, Mayor Coleman Young, U.S. Representative John Conyers, among other high-profile politicians, celebrities, lawyers, and judges. Goodness me, I don't know where you get the time for any hobbies or anything like that. This man is regarded by his peers as one of the nation's top trial lawyers of all time and is an honored member of the International Association of Top Professionals, IAOTP, senior partner of Morganroth and Morganroth, Mr. Mayer Morganroth. Mike, so lovely to have you here with us today.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Great to have you back on the show, Mike. You have dedicated over 5 decades to the legal field. Tell us what first got you interested in the law. Was it always a career you wanted to pursue?
Not really. I was in the Navy and got out of the Navy. And my parents wanted me to go to medical school. So I started pre-med and I thought to myself, I can't stand people in pain. What am I doing here? So I tried to figure out where to go. The only thing I had nothing against, which I didn't know much about, was law. So I started pre-law. And that's how I started. It was just an incident, let's put it that way.
So you've had many, many big cases in your life. I mean, very high profile cases like Dr. Kevorkian, who you represented for a very long time. Tell us a little bit about your biggest accomplishments, a part of this case, and then many other cases that you might have, been able to tackle along in those years.
Well, I represented Mayor Coleman Young for 20 years, and he was the first Black mayor of a major city of Detroit, and he went through hell, let's put it that way. And I worked on getting him out of that hell, which I did. And that was really a great reward. And I represented Jack Kevorkian through all his trials and tribulations, and actually got him released from prison, and represented John DeLorraine with his battles, so like 50 cases that he was involved in that we handled, and we won them all. And there were other people, but those were main people.
I wanted to ask you, as a trial lawyer, for us laymen, what is it like? I mean, when you say years and years of tackling a case, how do you keep momentum? How do you keep the energy going? For these long years of putting your effort into trying to fight for someone's rights?
Well, usually it comes itself because of your desire to get a purpose and an end. And usually that, shall we say, strength and attitude comes from that. And you get possessed by it.
Interesting term you use, possessed by it, because how do you keep your client motivated? That's one of the biggest sort of questions I have.
How do you keep your clients what?
Motivated to keep going.
Well, it depends on the client. Some of them are motivated by themselves. Like Kevorkian, who never stopped being motivated. Others you have to support and have to discuss and help them and her go on. And the way you keep them motivated is to let them see your interest in what you're doing for them. That's pretty much helps.
Mike, aside from running the firm and all the responsibilities that come with that, you are also very active on so many committees and are a sought after speaker and lecturer. You have also served as an entertainment industry consultant on several films and motion pictures. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you get involved in major cases with major clients, and naturally that's going to happen. And there's going to be that kind of publicity. In fact, right now, there's a movie that's in production on Carolyn Warmus, and I'm involved in that because of representing her through all her trials and tribulations. I'm sure you know who she is. In any event, it's difficult, sometimes very painful, but rewarding when you get, shall we say, peace and at least some kind of reward for the particular client. And that's what you're there for the client. When you start thinking about something else, yourself, it's time to walk away. You've got to be there for the client.
And talking about the client, now through the COVID pandemic, you must have seen huge shifts and changes and challenges in society. How has that changed your approach to your profession, and how's your firm dealt with it?
Well, it pretty much has dictated to a degree how you can handle things, because the courts are generally closed and have been fully closed. So things are on a status quo to a large extent. It's very uncomfortable for people that are imprisoned and shouldn't be. It's just a very, very uncomfortable time. But that's not unusual. Uncomfortable times have been on since the beginning of man and woman. And that's what we're in now, as usual.
But I mean, were the courts held back? Is there now a backlog because of the pandemic?
Oh, absolutely. Some things are put off until after June of next year. That should have been tried or handled a year ago. Yeah. So, yes, of course, it is a problem. And believe it or not, one of the main stresses on individuals when it comes to the courts is getting it done, getting it over with. And it's very painful for a lot of people, really painful.
I mean, I can hardly imagine if somebody is innocent and you are sitting in jail or you're sitting incarcerated waiting for your trial date, and it's extended and you're missing time with your family. And how do you, I mean, you're not a psychologist, but it seems like you might have to be a psychologist in the way that you deal with your clients.
We always did, not just now. You always did. And the client needed more than your legal support. They need your moral support. They need somebody who can keep them, shall we say, at least at peace, because the trauma and the stress is overwhelming. And of course, the penalties are outrageous, but a lot of innocent people who eventually get acquitted, or the cases get dropped, because in many instances the cases should never have been brought to start with. Those people suffer, and believe it or not, most lawyers suffer right with them, because they get attached to the particular client, the cause, and the families of those people.
Well, your clients are so lucky to have you fighting for them and someone with so much success under their belt and throughout your journey. And touching on your illustrious career, You've won numerous awards, honors, and featured in magazines worldwide. This past year, you graced the front cover of Tip magazine, were selected for IAOTP's Top 50 Fearless Leaders book, appeared on the famous Reuters billboard in Times Square, and will be honored at IAOTP's annual awards gala at the Plaza Hotel for your selection as Top Legal Expert of the Year. Congratulations, what an incredible year. What would you say has been the highlight of your career or the most memorable experience that you've had to date?
Well, there have been several. It's very hard to distinguish one from the other. The successes for Coleman Young were extremely important, even more important than extremely. He battled the world. It was quite a person, a real person. Of course, the truth quite often was never said. But then you've got other situations that overwhelm you with grief and pity. Doesn't stop you from representing, of course. And sometimes it helps you in your representation. But there are several clients that I've had that I really have felt very deeply for. And their suffering has been unwarranted, and in many instances, discriminatory.
When you choose a client, this must be a very difficult question to answer. Is you obviously use your discretion in choosing your clients, but what makes you choose them? Is it your heart? Is it your mind? Is it your intellect? Is it your passion for who they are? What drives you to represent that client?
All the things that you have stated drives you to represent the client. And if some of those things are there, you do it even if you're not paid, because it's very difficult to turn away somebody that's been discriminated against or caused to suffer or wrongfully attacked. And you have it all the time. It just happens. And there's so many reasons for it. But all those elements are important. And the people are important. When you start thinking you come first, you just got to walk away, because the client has to come first. And clients run out of money. Some lawyers walk away. I don't. Because I'm in there to start with, because I wanted to be there.
Well, I think that's what you're known for, and it's so admirable indeed. And I think when people start out becoming a lawyer or getting into the legal system, they maybe think that they're going to become this hero that is going to save everybody. How do you go to sleep at night knowing that there might be some days that you actually can't save this poor soul, and they're in this dire situation? How do you cope with it personally?
Well, I've always said that I sleep like a baby. I wake up every hour crying. Thanks to the
I love that.
the matter is that you get involved emotionally with clients. Many of them don't have money. They run out of money, but you don't run out on them. You run out on somebody that lies to you or is not a decent person, but you don't run out because they run out of money. You don't run out for other reasons, which are, shall we say, self-contained. I know a lot of lawyers like that, and that's good. There are a lot of good lawyers. There's a lot of good doctors. There's a lot of good people in the entertainment and in the communications business. And thank goodness for that.
When not working, what do you like to do for fun? What are your hobbies?
Well, my wife
That's good to hear.
of 66 years,
How many years? 66?
66 years.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Congratulations.
bravo.
That's
Best
amazing.
decision I ever made in my life, I tell you.
Wow.
Really. No, we're a full pair, no question about it. And other hobbies, I played a lot of golf. I haven't played a few years now, but I played golf. But mainly speaking, it was work, day and night. If not at the office, at home. If not at home or the office, it was someplace else in the country or out of the country. But that's my life.
But a supportive family, and do you have kids and grandchildren? And what do you do, say, for Thanksgiving?
Well, first of all, my son, Jeffrey Morganroth, is here. That's Morganroth and Morganroth.
Ah.
Right now, he's downtown, I believe, with Dan Gilbert, because he's their main counsel from our office. And my daughter, Sherry Morganroth, who does work for them and a lot of other clients, of course, she's also with us as a lawyer. My oldest daughter, Lori, is retired, but she also is with us. And my grandchildren, has started law school, and the others are in different colleges, but not in law.
It's a family affair.
Wow.
It is.
Oh, wonderful.
No complaints, believe me. Some people aren't happy unless they're unhappy. They're always complaining. I got nothing to complain about.
Oh, that's amazing philosophy to have in life. Now, if there was one thing you could do to achieve that you still wanted to achieve, what would that be?
Well, it takes a lot of things to do it, but I'd like to see people successful, protected, and I can't achieve it, but I sure would like to see how we would to get some peace in this world, frankly. But it's a little better. But as I said many times, we've gone through pre-civilization to civilization in modern times without really passing through becoming civilized. That yet has to be done. Got to respect other people.
Well, Mr. Morganroth, I choose you for president. I think with those sentiments, you should be president.
You're so funny, Michelle. Yeah, you have my vote as well.
Thank you.
We're so grateful to have you here today, for taking the time, and look forward to your many different adventures that we are going to see in the next few years. But we're hopefully going to see you very soon in December at the awards ceremony. Will you be there?
I would hope so. I hope that everything allows it to happen and for me to be there. It all depends on the climate, health-wise and otherwise.
Well, we hope we get to see you there. It'll be wonderful.
Thank you so much.
So good to see you again.
We'll catch up soon.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.